5 words for you. Emerald Marine Chocolate Mint Tart. Look at that thing. Oh my gosh. And another 5 words. It is really rainy today, but that aside, we are going to attempt to make that tart. And although that takes about 2.5 days in that video that one of you guys sent me, thank you so much for this request. I love these tricky ones. I am going to attempt to make it in a day, and it might not be as perfect as that, but I'm really intrigued to see at least what it looks like, and of course what it tastes like. So it's all going to come together in a loose bottom flan dish. This is an 8-inch flan dish with a removable base like this. Everything, it's all about you today, mate. Okay, no pressure. All right, it should be okay if I can, yep, that's all right, yep. The butter, and this is some icing sugar, 50 grams of that. And if you get a bit bored and overexcited, it's gonna go everywhere, isn't it? So let's just let this merge as one. Perfect. Okay, so this is where it gets a bit quirky. This is just a saucepan of water, and I've got to warm this water up to around about 55 degrees. This is an egg, okay? Spoilers. So this egg is gonna get cooked above that water in a moment, and we're not really making a custard. I'm not really sure why. Obviously it'll add a little bit like of richness, right? And maybe it'll help bond it more to make it less crumbly. That's what I'm going with. And we're gonna whisk this until the egg reaches around about 35 degrees. It doesn't look very chocolate tart basey right now, does it? We add about 1/3, apparently, okay? So it doesn't go too crazy to help it sort of settle in. But I have never made a tart with this sort of base before. So we'll just add it in thirds. Yeah, it doesn't want to go at first, and then all of a sudden, it just goes, oh yeah, do you know what? I'll join in and we'll make some super sort of combo thing. And here is some cocoa powder and some sponge flour. Now sponge flour is a little bit lighter, makes super soft cakes. So that's what I've been told to do for this tart base. So remember, this recipe should, with all the steps, take like nearly 3 days. I'm like, I ain't got time for that. I know it's not gonna probably look as good, but I just wanna see if I can do it, and I'll come on to a bit more as we progress about what we are trying to achieve here. And that will probably become obvious with some of the ingredients to get the emerald colour particularly. There we are, after a little bit more stirring, and that, it's actually quite tacky, I like that, cool. So officially now I'm supposed to wrap this and chill it for 8 hours. I have not got time for that. I can't be bothered to chill some for 8 hours, so I'm gonna pat it, because it told me to chill it like this, and ultimately it's gonna go into that flan dish. So the more, this isn't patting, is it? I'm squishing. The more we can get that surface area thinner, it will chill and firm up better. 8 hours to me seems very overkill, but I'm also gonna use the freezer. Shh. Horrendous day out there. It is awful. And there is our tin, and I'm just gonna, almost like a buttery crayon. I've got a little piece of butter left over in the fridge. We seem to always have these, like just little shards of butter. So nice and greased, ready for this. It's like a big chocolate coin. It's not a bad video idea, is it actually? And we are just gonna roll this out. Ugh. Oh, look, it is actually cracking a little bit, isn't it? Look at that. But I think the good thing is, oh yeah, with the heat of your hands, you can actually squidge it back together. So it kind of fixes it for me. I would say though, before you get it too excited, do make sure that this is still well iced and sugared down, because the last thing you want to do is roll it out and then you can't actually get it off your countertop. That is weird though, look, it's proper cracking, that is. Yeah, look at that. Because we can, there we go, yeah, I think we can fix the rest. Actually no, I'm not happy with that at all. I'm really not happy with that. I'm gonna go again, sorry. All right, oh, there we go. That's way better. Okay, so let's just lift the sides now, and then we'll show you a little cool trick, okay? And some of you might just do it anyway, and it's like, that's not a hack at all, Barry. Like, that's just real life. Welcome to the real world. But if we take a rolling pin and just roll it along the top of the flan, it should, hopefully, look at that. That has given us an amazing tart base. So all I've got to do now apparently is push the sides in flush. But this spare dough too, just in case it cracks in any way, I think it's going to be fine now, but I am going to keep that in the fridge just in case. For me personally, that's probably one of the easiest steps I think out of this recipe. Other than cleaning down everything apart from myself, I've also just preheated my oven to quite a low temperature, 150C fan, 170C, which was 325 Fahrenheit, which is a very rare temperature for me to use, and it's gonna go even lower later. We've got to line the pan. I'm quite lucky because I've actually got the same pan. I've got 2 of them. So this is like, for me, a really easy way, hopefully. The freezer was my friend, and apparently I have never done this before. We are going to make indents with the fork all along the base. Okay, I've done that. But also, we're gonna do the sides. Oh yes. Oh, that's amazing. Fill this with bacon beads. Side note, I might have just said bacon beads. Bacon beads. They're beads to help weigh it down. We've used them before. Okay, I'm with this now. This is feeling good. Back in the freezer for a couple more minutes and straight in the oven. Little side note, how awesome was that? I hate lining cake tins. There's loads of different hacks. If in doubt, folks, always buy 2 pans. That's my top tip. Okie dokie, in it goes. See you in half an hour. It smells so good. And it looks like it's held together. I'm gonna let this cool down just briefly because the next step is actually brushing egg yolk on it. It's just egg yolk sat on chocolate base, so I don't think this is critical. And there it goes. Now, even though I did let that cool, I still think it's gonna omelette, you know. I don't. We'll find out in 5 minutes. Oh my gosh, what's happened there? What? I feel like it did omelette still as well. Well, the good thing is all of this is going to get covered. We let this cool again. So we're going to make a ganache. Oh, those bars that I normally buy, you know, from a fairly well-known brand, you've seen them in old videos. I've got evidence of shrinkflation from my videos. These used to be 150 gram bars. They're now 100 grams and cost more. There goes that brand deal. Boston is outraged, aren't you? Absolutely outraged by it. Honestly, that weather is awful. It's been constant for like nearly 20 hours now. Into this jug, we're putting just over 60 ml of double cream, aka heavy cream. Despite all the crazy steps for the tart already, for the ganache, we are just gonna bung it in the microwave. Of course, you could do it over a hob if you wish. We've done that a few times over the years, but hey, if we can save time, do it. Do you know what? I could stop the recipe right now, eat this, and life would be very, very good. But some of this is going to get brushed on that base. Look at it. Look at the colours. It's so weird. We now chill this, and that's sort of the base done. Get this chilled and firmed. It won't take long. And we'll get the rest in a piping bag. I am absolutely shocking at piping, so this should look horrendous, okay? I hate doing stuff like this. Whoa! Oh, that actually looks quite good. Shall I just leave it like that? That actually worked out quite well. I think this needs to chill a teeny bit longer though. I actually just scraped off what you just saw, so both of it's gone back in the fridge for another 5 minutes. All right, let's try again. Long story short, I've now actually tried this 3 times. And I'm just sort of doing like in the freezer out, just to try and get the right texture. That's why it's all a bit hacked up here, because I've actually tried that 3 times now. All right, come on now. I gotta say, folks, I do not envy anyone that works. Actually, no, I do envy people that work in a bakery. The food must be amazing. But this is pretty tricky. I gotta be honest. I think that looks rather amazing. Oh my gosh. I am over the moon with that. Wow, into the fridge you go, my friend. Now I know I said that was hard, and to be fair, it blooming was, okay, and I'm over the moon with how that's turned out, but it's now time to make the emerald mint jelly. For that, we're gonna need water, sugar, something to solidify it like a gelatin, but we're gonna go for agar. And then where the minty syrup comes in, you probably see this brand, when you go in like a bar, you normally see loads of them on the shelf behind you, and it's like, oh yeah. So this one's a clear mojito one, and we've got the blue curacao and then the green mint. So look at those colors there. Oh my gosh, this could look awesome. So we're going to start off with the water, okay? So this is pretty much 500 milliliters of that. Oh my gosh. Going to add in the sugar. This is the clear mojito stuff. This is where it might get quite cool. The green goes in, and now the blue. You know, I guess you could tweak it to get the shade that you want. And I'm actually loving that. Look at that. That's emeraldy to me. But this is where it could all come crashing down. The recipe that I was going to follow, it says 20 grams of agar powder. And I always thought with agar, and I'm going to stick with this, that if you have like, say, a litre of water, that you'd use 10 grams of agar. So for our case, we used 500 ml of water. Okay, it's a bit more. So around about maybe 5 to 6 grams. The reason I'm hesitant is because the agar I've got typically does make it quite cloudy, and I want to try and keep it as clear as I can. There is some super clear agar that you can get. I've never got hold of it, but I've been told about it before. It's got like a different recipe build up, but I think that's the stuff that they use on proper raindrop cakes in Asia. Whereas the stuff I get, and hopefully you can see that there, it does have a yellowy hue to it. So I'm going to push that in, and we need to whisk that as we bring it up to a boil. I've only used agar a couple of times, but if I did 20 grams of it, I'm fairly certain it would turn into a bouncy castle almost immediately. That feels wrong. To be fair, I'm surprised we've even got to this point, to be honest, guys. And the really annoying thing with this stuff is you've got to whisk it as it cools down. It's just a massive hit or miss whether this is going to set. I'm going to end up pouring this over our lovely looking, I mean, we've done well with that tart, right? I'm going to pour this over it, and it could like not set, or it could just completely rubberize it. If that happens, if it's horrendous, I'll start again. If it's passable, then it's your turn. So for clarity, the reason I'm whisking it as it cools down is like, what you can find with this stuff is you get like these little ribbons of like gelatin in different areas where it could set and other bits will be fluidy, and if I try and pour it in there, it might kind of like just create this weird like wave machine, and yeah, it's gonna be a wave machine. I think we've just got to go for it, and if not, we'll try again tomorrow. So let's pour this on. Oh my gosh. Filling up to the top. The ganache is helping it not leak, I guess, from where we painted it earlier. That's crazy. Oh my gosh. I can actually still see it through there. That's amazing. Ah! Right. I've got to just leave it to set now. That is if it sets. Now, whilst I would love to get that in the freezer, it's a little bit fiddly to get it in there, particularly when it's so delicate like that. So it will go in the fridge, I think, for about 3 hours. I've been filming with the light on for most of this video anyway, so we might as well do a nighttime taste test for Mrs. B when she's home from work. Well, here we go then, folks. This is it set. I am so happy that I put less agar in, because otherwise I don't think you would have been able to see anything. It looks like a slightly dirty swimming pool. I'm gonna take it. You know what I mean? I think it could have been a lot worse than that. If I put 20 grams of agar in, it might have been a bouncy ball. But you can see those chocolate piping areas in there, and my LED bulb. Sorry about that. Look at that. You can see it. Because, like I said, this is more about the taste. Look at that. That is really bizarre. Oh my word. Ugh. I don't even know how to explain it. There's just so much going on. I mean, all the effort was put into the crust, really, wasn't it? And if I tilt it, look, you can actually see that. There is a little bit of, I'm going to take that. There's a bit of visibility there of it, all right? You strange looking thing. What the heck? And for me, it was all about what this is going to taste like. Okay? I hated that at first. It tasted like really weird minty jelly, like almost too minty, like toothpaste. Then you hit the ganache, then you hit that brownie-esque crust.
That's so strange.
Oh, that is quite potent. That is like gargling on some mint leaves.
It's just strange.
It's not as good as I wanted it to be. Visually on the video I saw, it looked insane. It's nice.
No, it does look really good.
It's a lot of effort though for what it was. But I managed to do it in a day rather than 3 days. And it's a box that I can tick to say I'm jolly well done. And of course you guys can have a go at it too and see how you get on. But it's kind of like an extreme after 8 tart.
Yeah.
Last night, a load of agar arrived.
So that's what I used originally. This is the first one we opened. Look, they're almost identical. And even this one, which I had high hopes for, that I've waited for today, looks very similar. However, this, what colour is this? Oh! Is paler.
So I just did all the steps as before. In fact, even using slightly less agar and hoping it would work. It was looking really, really good. I had another tart that I'd made and it was super cold, so I started pouring that on there. Let's see what it looks like.
Okay, so for reference, this is pie number 1. This was made a few days ago. It's been battered and bruised in the fridge. And this is number 2. Okay, old one, newer one.
It just reminds me of dog biscuits in jelly. It does not look like coral at all. Oh, that's a nice slice. I can't wait to have the fridge back. Okay. Oh my gosh. I'll get that in a moment. Why won't this recipe just die? There we go. Okay. It's fairly similar, isn't it? If I just put it under a brighter light though, oh my gosh, look at that. That's actually way better. Like really, really bright light under it. Yep, still tastes truly bizarre. However, one of my patrons suggested we try a sunflower. Yes, with some spare dough left over. I didn't have any ganache, so I made some little droplets out of extra pie crust. I had this tiny little pie thing, which I then filled with yellow coloured jelly, which apparently should look like a sunflower. And after setting it in the fridge, I can reveal to you, this is the sunflower lemon jelly tart thing. That's actually quite clear. Look at that. It's not minty, but that's pretty good. Wow, that's really nice. I don't really want to do this again, but I've got some super crazy Japanese agar coming from actual Japan in a month's time that I ordered. So maybe we will, but in the meantime, if anyone's got any ideas what I can do with a load of blue, green and white syrup, apart from lots of cocktails, do let me know. Thank you so much to the names on the screen right now that support me on Patreon to help keep the channel going. Do consider subscribing if you wish to for regular videos each week. Like I say, if you've seen any cool recipes, do send me links to them. And yeah, I am going to eat the rest of this never.